Let's talk about kissing scenes. Hi guys, I'm Marlene and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about how to write a good kissing scene, which I think is a fundamental in any book that features even a slight romantic subplot. But before we dive into my 5 tips for writing a great kissing scene, please remember to hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell so you don't miss any updates. I post new writing advice videos and vlogs every Wednesday and a book review every second Friday. Also, if you want a fantasy adventure novel with loads of great kissing scenes, check out my debut political fantasy, To Wear a Crown. You can get it wherever books are sold online, and the link is in the description box below. So first things first, you need to know what type of kiss you want to write, because the type of kiss you choose will have a huge impact on how you're going to write the scene and what you're going to do to create a build-up. And the type of kiss you choose is going to depend on the context. So the context of the book, meaning the target audience, the category you're writing for, genre expectations, things like that. And then the context within the book, those characters where the plot has been leading, the circumstances of that specific scene, and also what you want to achieve with the scene. So your purpose with the kissing scene. So this means, are you writing a quick chaste kiss, a slow hesitant kiss, a sweet loving kiss, a passionate deliberate kiss, an unexpected whirlwind kiss, or a rough intense kiss? So what has been the build up to this? How do these characters interact? How do their personalities play off each other? What is the situation they find themselves in? What does this age group, category, and genre expect of a kissing scene? Now that you've chosen the type of kiss that you want to write, it's all about the build-up. In my opinion, the build-up is more impactful than the kiss. It's the nature of the build-up that makes readers remember and love the kissing scene. Now, first things first, the build-up should not be restricted to the actual scene in which the kiss occurs. The build-up needs to happen throughout the book. Obviously, how long that build-up is and what it entails will heavily depend on what you're writing, the story that you're writing. But it should be littered throughout the book up to that point. So the character arcs, the interactions, and the story should include kind of that build up very early on. And then within the scene itself, the nature and amount of the build up is going to depend on the type of kiss you chose. So say you're writing a passionate, deliberate kiss where the characters slowly come together and have a very romantic moment. Here the build up will be a bit longer and slower. So you're going to focus on the longing, the wanting between the characters, the desire. You're going to have them move slowly closer together. You're going to have the POV character thinking about what it would feel like to touch them, to kiss them. So the lead up, the desire should be heavy in the air. So much so that your readers eventually scream, "Just kiss already." The build up to a sweet, chaste kiss, maybe between younger characters, would likely have less build up, and it'll center more around sweetness, the dialogue, and involve more tenderness. An unexpected whirlwind kiss would likely have very little build up within that scene itself. However, that just makes it more important to have that build up throughout the story before we get to that scene. So essentially, don't forget about the build up. Don't focus so much on the kiss itself that you lose what will make the kiss magical. Don't rush the build-up unless it works for a very specific type of kiss that you're trying to write. Then tip number 3 is use movement. Often the difficulty with writing a kissing scene, and especially writing the build-up of a kissing scene, is, but what do the characters actually do? So in a longer scene where you're leading up to, like I said, the passionate and deliberate kiss, my favorite way to address this is to have the characters slowly move closer together throughout the scene. So as whatever is happening, the action, the dialogue happens, you've got this slow, closer movement. So they take a step forward, they look away, their eyes meet, hands are flexing, biting their lip. Another step forward, reaching out to touch. Pulling away, coming closer. So you use the choreography of the scene and your environment to build up the tension. So you're interspersing dialogue, longing thoughts, and sensual experience with movement. Now, before the characters kiss, consider intimacy via touch. Will they take the other's hand, embrace them, cup their cheek, push them up against a wall? You can also use movement to convey how your characters are feeling. So is one of them fidgeting or kind of pulling back? Is one of them leaning forward? Or are they running their hands through their hair? Things like that. And then if it works within the specific context of your kissing scene, it might be a good idea to have the characters do something else during the build-up. So for example, in To Wear a Crown, one of my favorite kissing scenes starts with one of the characters training archery and knife throwing. And the other character wants to talk to her and kind of gets closer and closer until he eventually puts his hand on her arm and she turns around to face him. So it's kind of this slow, almost seduction, where she doesn't want to look at him because then she knows she's going to fall into it. But eventually she does. And so even that kind of focusing on something else while the other person is coming closer, interspersed with the dialogue and the longing thoughts and things like that, create a great build-up towards that kiss. So aside from the build-up, touch and movement also plays a big role in the kiss itself. You don't just kiss with your lips. What are the characters' hands doing? Are they standing still? Are they walking forward while kissing the other person? Where are they touching the other person? Use movement to your advantage. Then tip number 4 is using all the senses. Kissing is a very sensual experience. It's one of the most important scenes to show rather than tell. So during the build-up and during the kiss itself, focus on what your point of view character is seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, feeling. Yes, there's soft lips and warm mouths, etc. The things you think about when you think of a kiss. But there's also what the other person smells like. The taste of their skin, the roughness of their stubble, the contrast between the heat of their body and the cold of the wall. Whatever you're doing, really delve into which things your character would be experiencing in that moment through all of their senses. And then number 5, okay, but how do I actually describe it? So I think the biggest thing that makes writers nervous to write a kissing scene is the actual first moment that the characters kiss. What do you say? How do you convey that in a good way? Now, simply saying, he kissed me or she kissed him is perfectly fine. Lips brushing together, mouths crashing together. The way you read kissing scenes being described in kind of just a normal, plain way, that's all fine. And in my opinion, that's preferable. You don't have to reinvent the wheel and wax poetic. Tongues don't have to be doing pirouettes around each other. Lips don't have to be intertwining. That first kiss, yes, it's important, or that first moment of the kiss, yes, it's important, but it's more just conveying to the reader that it's happening, and then you focus on how it feels for the character after that. So you don't have to fall into the purple prose trap. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Focus on the build-up and on the character's sensual experience rather than the mechanics of the kiss or trying to kind of wax poetic while describing just the act of kissing itself. So yeah, those are my 5 tips for writing a great kissing scene. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and remember to hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell so you don't miss any videos. Once again, if you would like to read a political fantasy adventure with a bunch of kissing scenes, check out To Wear a Crown, link in the description box below. You can also find me on my website, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, and TikTok. All the links are listed below, and then I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!